Last time, we started the challenge by looking for resources like coal and iron, found a nice place to set up a house, strip mined for diamonds, found some shipwrecks, made a nether portal and went in search for a nether fortress. But then, I accidentally hit a fireball into a group of pigmen. For a very brief moment, I thought I was safe in my little box that I made, but then the pigmen started hitting me through the walls. So, in a desperate attempt to survive, I dug into the netherrack to escape, getting down to 2 hearts due to the pigmen. I tried to regenerate my health and aimed to dig my way through the nether to try and make it back to my nether portal. I used coordinates to try and reorient myself with the direction my portal was and started digging towards it, but quickly realised that the pigmen were still mad at me when I accidentally found the outside world. I used this as my chance to kill as many as possible with minimal risk, gaining many golden swords and other items from them. When we're dead, I cautiously crept out of my tunnel, hoping it would be safe for me to get out and find my portal. But I was wrong. In the distance, I spotted a pigman sprinting towards me and quickly realised that they were not finished with me. And as a clown came over the hill, I ended up back in a box. I knew there was no outrunning them, especially with me not being able to jump without using slabs, so I dug a hole in my box and farmed them. Once again, I cautiously left the safety of my box and headed on my way, and my golden helmet had broken earlier though, so I did have to deal with a few piglins, but it was nothing I couldn't handle after what I had just gone through. On my way back, I tried to trap an enderman in a boat so I could kill it, but a pigman decided it wanted to try out the boat, so I had to very carefully try and break the boat. But then the enderman decided to hop into the boat anyway, and caused the pigman to suffocate in the wall. Luckily the other pigman decided I was not to blame for this. I found my portal, greatly relieved that I was safely home, and swore to myself to never again try and battle a ghast. Just outside of my house, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed a spinning llama in the distance. Concerned and confused, I got a bit closer to see why the llama was rotating so violently, only to realise that the wandering trader had gotten stuck on the side of a cliff. I wasn't going to just leave him there, so I built him a little staircase up to the top, which he gladly took. And when he got out, wandered straight back into another hole. As tempting as it was to leave him there, I felt bad for the llamas, so created a new staircase and hoped he wouldn't go wandering into any other holes in the ground. After my heroic antics, I looked longingly into my valuables chest and sighed at the fact that I only had 7 diamonds to my name, which had to change. So, I made some pickaxes and headed down to do some strip mining. Apparently luck was with me, because in the 20-minute mining trip I took, I got 10 diamonds, which more than doubles the amount I had before. I headed back to the surface feeling extremely happy with myself and started about improving my farm, because it was looking quite pitiful at the moment. I planted some potatoes and chopped down some trees to make some more fences so I could separate my animals, because currently they were all shoved into a singular pen. I made 3 extra pens so I could have sheep, cows, chickens and pigs, and set about separating animals, finding some pigs, and hopping on my horse to scour the island for a cow, because I currently only had one. I found a small group and carefully led them back to their new home. After that, I made myself some boots and a chest plate with my diamonds, and decided that it was about time that I carried on my task of looking for a nether fortress. So, I reluctantly went through my portal and into the nether, only to immediately be met with a ghast. Remembering my promise from earlier to not battle a ghast, I quickly ran as far away as I could from it. I started off by having a brief look around, heading through a small crimson forest into a soul sand valley, which was overrun with skeletons, and another ghast which was once again out to get me. I didn't see any pigmen around, so decided to try and kill it, which luckily I was able to do. I continued journeying through the Soul Sand Valley with no sign of any fortress and made it to another crimson forest, and quickly developed a fear of them due to hoglins, so turned around and went in another direction. I was heading on my way back to the area where my nether portal was when I noticed this. A bastion right next to my portal. How did I not spot that sooner? My portal is right there and right next to it. Boom, bastion. I literally had placed slabs and torches right here and did not see it. I decided out of curiosity to have a closer look, but knew deep down it probably wasn't the best idea. I spotted some chests inside and really wanted to get them, so I lured out the piglin brute, managing to kill him and went for the chests. For context, I have only ever been in one bastion before, which was years ago, and I only went in there to collect the blocks of gold because I was too scared to go deeper. So I had no idea that when you open certain chests it causes piglins around you to attack. So I decided to open the larger chest first, grabbing a few things, and then opened the other chest. Not even getting a chance to look at it properly before piglins started attacking me, so I quickly abandoned any idea of entering a bastion again and ran. I ran far enough away for them to forget about my attempt to steal their valuables and snuck back around the bastion so I could do some more exploring. After walking for a bit and bridging over a lava lake, I ended up finding a warped forest in the distance, as well as another bastion, before getting ambushed by yet another ghast while I was also surrounded by pigmen. Not wanting to take any chances after learning my lesson last episode, I decided to ditch the plan to continue exploring and run back to the portal as quickly as possible because I was scared. So, to get away from the ghast, I sprinted over my slightly precarious bridge while fireballs were being shot at me, ran past the bastion and made it back to my portal, dreading the next time I entered the nether. After clearing out my inventory, I decided to head out exploring, wanting to keep myself busy while I was mentally preparing to enter the nether once again. I hopped in my boat and almost immediately found a village, like right next to my house. I could see both my house and the village at the same time. Again, I have no idea how I didn't spot that sooner. I went to have a closer look, heading into the houses in search for chests and resources. I then found a camel, my first ever naturally spawning camel. He was so cute and also had the ability to levitate, which was fun. I decided to leave him defying gravity and borrowed the bell and continued searching the village. I managed to find a house with bookshelves in it and destroyed them all to get the books because I was planning on making an enchanting table at some point as I was on level 30. I finished searching the village, tested my MLG skills and headed on my way. About 5 minutes later I spotted something odd, a floating shipwreck. This was definitely the easiest shipwreck I've raided as I just casually strolled through the door to get to the chests. Unfortunately, there was some serious lag, causing some frustration, but I managed to grab the resources from both chests. Also, I collected a buried treasure map, but it was blank. I have no idea why, and I've never come across anything like this before. There was also another village right next to the shipwreck, so I headed into that, grabbed some more resources, I said hi to another camel and borrowed another bell and left them to it. Not much later I found yet another shipwreck, swimming down, checking one chest, nothing I wanted there, and tried the other chest, and again, more lag. Scared I was going to drown, I swam back up to the surface hoping the lag will sort itself out. After it did, I found a few more books and continued in my boat. I decided to start heading home, but on my way I found, guess what, another shipwreck! Now, this one actually had a buried treasure map that wasn't blank, so I quickly grabbed that. I checked the map and realised that it was for a treasure that I had already gotten. Great. So I returned home with a lot of wheat, nearly a stack of books and 2 bells. Wonderful. My next task I decided was enchanting, so I grabbed the materials and made an enchanting table, placing it outside, and then using the books I collected to make a handful of bookshelves to place around the table. I decided the first thing I wanted to enchant was my chest plate, so with my levels I was able to get Unbreaking 3 and Blast Protection 4, which I was pretty happy with. I still didn't feel ready to go back into the nether, so I decided another way to procrastinate, building a stable for my horse, because my horse has been a house horse for far too long. I haven't even given this horse a name, he is just house horse to me. If you have any suggestions for a name, please let me know. I mapped out the size, battled a creeper and realised I had yet another wandering trader visitor to deal with. Lovely. I finished up the stable, feeling pretty happy with how it looked, and introduced House Horse to his new home. I really like the fact I can look out my window to see him, and I really need to get rid of those wandering traders. I decided I wanted to keep the llamas, so I had to run out of range from them to stop them from attacking me, and then I used a lead to attach them to my animal pens. Hopefully one day I'll get around to making them a home. After successfully taming the llamas, I knew it was time to go back into the nether. So I got prepared and headed in once again. I really didn't know where to look this time. It felt like I'd checked everywhere that was accessible to me, but I wanted to check some places I'd already been last episode, just in case there was anything lurking in the fog that I didn't see then. I was just casually minding my own business when a ghast somehow snuck up on me, trying to hit me off a ledge, which was fabulous. I didn't dare hit any fireballs back at it and decided the best idea was just to run. I ran past the bastion from earlier, planning on bridging across to the other bastion that I spotted, before I was rudely interrupted by a ghast last time. I had just gotten there prepared to bridge over the lava lake when I spotted this. A ghast right in front of the bastion, which was where I wanted to go. I didn't quite know what to do, so I waited around for a little bit, and then when I wasn't looking, it somehow escaped the confines of the bastion and started firing at me while I was in a group of pigmen. Deciding there was no use sticking around, I retreated, planning on looking for a fortress elsewhere. As I was walking back, I spotted some cute double-stacked striders, and then saw a hoglin fall to its death. By the looks of it, I think he might have been pushed. I continued looking around, finding nothing but lava, skeletons, and ghasts, and after about 30 minutes of searching, I gave up completely defeated and went home to replenish my supplies and have a small break to focus on my farm and house. Once fully restocked with slabs and pickaxes, back through the portal I went into my least favourite place in probably the entire world. I decided to head in the opposite directions from all the bastions and tried to get deeper into the nether than I'd previously done. I headed through a crimson forest, grabbing a warped fungus just in case I came into contact with any hoglins, and continued walking through a soul sand valley, battling skeletons as I went. One of the most annoying things about soul sand valleys is the fact that I can't walk up slabs I place on soul sand. It's just not possible. So I have to destroy the soul sand next to the placed slabs and replace it with another block like netherite or soul soil. It was very frustrating. I bridged across to an area I wanted to explore, jumping down and building my way back up so I had an easy escape route. In the clearing, I noticed there was a pretty big lava lake, and an opening directly opposite where I was, meaning the lake went further than I could see, which wasn't very far due to the area I was in being quite confined. So I gathered some more blocks and built down, planning to traverse around the edge of the lake. All of a sudden I heard a ghast. Panicking that there was one close by, I was about to retreat, but then something caught my eye. I zoomed in and realised that something looked a lot like nether brick. I could not believe it. Not caring much about the ghast noises, I quickly finished building down and started bridging directly across the lake to get a closer look. And there it was, a nether fortress.